Hi everybody, this is Scott Sharp with Fretboard Toolbox, and today we're going to look at a new circle of fifths decoder that I made. And I started out trying to figure out why does a circle of fifths matter, and I drew it out, and then I started drawing some lines in between and making some connections, and about 2 weeks later I figured out it pretty much explains everything you need to know, maybe 90% of what you need to know about music theory. And so I want to show you how that works today. So let's take a look. Alright, if you go to the Fretboard Toolbox website and you click on free extras, then you'll get this, you'll see this animated GIF here, my first animated GIF using Photoshop. Pretty excited. And it's showing which chords go together it's showing a circle of fifths, and it's showing which chords go together in each key and which are major and minor and how do you build the scales from it. And it's got all kinds of cool information. My videos, all the videos I make for this are going to go in a playlist, a YouTube playlist right here. And then to download the tool, you'll just click on the GIF here, or you'll click a link up here, and you'll be able to play around with it and see if it shows you anything cool. So let's get started by taking a look at the tool. We're also going to be using the complete guitar edition fretboard toolbox along with this circle of fifths tool. So once you download the circle of fifths tool, you'll see this picture come up here, this decoder, and then we'll start to be able to find all kinds of cool patterns here. And what you see at the very beginning is, in this circle, you see all the major keys. So key of C major, G major, D major, A, E, and these are the keys of F sharp and G flat. They use the same notes. C sharp and D flat use the same notes, and then A flat, E flat, B flat, F. And you'll also notice the number of sharps and flats in each key. So the key of C major has 0 sharps and 0 flats. G major has 1 sharp. Key of D major has 2 sharps, 3 sharps for A, 4 sharps for E, etc. And then you'll notice that F sharp and G flat, F sharp has 6 sharps and G flat has 6 flats. And then D flat has 5 flats, A flat has 4, E flat has 3, on down to F here. Then you get back to C. So this is all the different major keys that you can play in. Any song can be played in any of these major keys, and I'll show you how that works in just a minute. And we can also build scales from this tool. So this is an all interactive tool, so if you click on any of these keys, we'll start, let's click the key of C here, then you'll see this green circle come up, and in a later video I'll explain the blues circle of fifths down here. But if we just look at, which is the same thing, it's just highlighting different notes. But if we take a look at this major scale one, what you'll notice is all of these different chords here and different notes. And in the green you'll be able to see what the major scale notes are. C major is C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And then you'll see what pattern they use up here. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And then if you have a toolbox, I'm using an interactive one here, but if you have a toolbox, you can click on any of those keys, the blues keys or the major keys / relative minor. I'll explain that in a more advanced video later on. But we're in the key of C, so I'm going to click key of C here, and then you're going to see the exact same chords on your circle of fifths as you do in this box right here. Aside from the 7th chord, which is a flat 7, it's a weird one instead of the diminished. But don't worry about that for now. We're just going to focus on these 6 main chords here, and on the toolbox they're the 6 main chords right here. So let's start out by seeing how to build scales with the circle of fifths and a toolbox. So scales are built by starting with the 1 note. This would be Do, and then follow this green line to Re, and then follow this to Mi. So this is the 1 note, 2 note, 3, and then we're going to shoot across to the 4 note, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1. So the 8th note is the octave, or back to 1. It's back to the root. And on a toolbox it looks like this: C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then something cool is this idea of steps, and there's whole steps and half steps. And if you on the complete editions, there's this part that says Chord Toolbox Explained, and if we go to that, you'll see how to build all major scales. And every major scale is built by going whole step, half step, whole, 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 and then a half back to the root. And that's the same thing here. Let's go ahead and look at it in the key of G. If you click on the toolbox logo, you can always go back to the main page and then jump to any key you want. So the G major scale is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then back to G. And so that goes whole step, half, whole, 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 half. And what a whole step means is that you're skipping a fret. So on a guitar, let's look at it on the toolbox here. And so you click on table of contents, we'll go to the G major key. And then if I want to play that G major scale, the notes in white boxes, I can see on the toolbox all those G major scale notes in white here. So if we just started on the G note and we want to play the G major scale, we're going to go whole step, half step. Half step means do the fret right next door. Whole step means skip a fret. So whole, whole, half. Let's look at that on the guitar real quick. We're going to start on the G string here. We're going to go whole, a whole step to A. So G, A, that's a whole step. A to B is a whole step. B to C is a half step. And on the circle of fifths, you'll see all the whole steps are these short lines. So G to A is a whole step, A to B is a whole step, and then B to C is a half step. So anytime you shoot across the circle here on the major scale, green ones, you're doing a half step. And then we're going to go whole, 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 and then a half back to the root. So we'll go whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And I don't know if I can, yeah, I can show you all of them there. So we'll go G on open third string, A, B, C, there's a half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and a half step to the 12th fret. And notice the note on the 12th fret is the same as the note on the open string. So there's your octave. So you can see which notes are in each scale right here. So the major scale notes are all the black ones. And then the pentatonic notes are always underlined on my toolboxes. And so the G pentatonic notes are G, A, B, D, and E. So if I want the whole major scale, I'll use all these 7 notes. So on here, I could go G, A, B, C, and run all the way up like I did. Or I could go G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. That would look like this on a guitar. B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So that's my major scale. Or I could play my pentatonic notes, G, A, B, D, E. And notice the pentatonic notes are all together on the circle of fifths in every key, which is really cool. So if I want to play the pentatonic scale, here I'm going to go G, A, B, D, E, G. So I'm playing G, A, B, D, E, back to G. And it looks like this. So G, A, B, D, E, G. Or I could play G, A, B, D, E, G right here. So there's my pentatonic scale in underlined notes. My black notes are all the major scale notes. And that works the same for every key. So if we wanted to see in the key of D, here's the black notes are all my major scale notes. Let's go to them on a toolbox too. We'll run to the key of D. Here's my major scale notes in white boxes. And over here we got D, E, F sharp. So whole step, half, whole, 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 and then a half back to the root. And if we want to see those laid out here, I could play D, E, F sharp, and I could play G here or here. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, then I could play B in either place, C sharp, D. So let's play that real quick. So it goes D, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. And so that's how scales work on here. And the other thing that's real important is getting to see which chords make up each key. So these 6 chords here are the same 6 chords right here. We're skipping the diminished because it doesn't get played that often. So we'll play out of these 6 chords. You can see that we've got the exact same thing going right here. And so the cool patterns you can find on the circle of fifths with chords is that your 3 major chords, what's called your 1, 4, 5 chords, those are all right next to each other. So the 1, 4, and 5 chords, in the key of D, it's D major, G major, A major. Those make up a ton of songs. D, G, A, D. So knowing what your 1, 4, 5 chords are is huge in every key, and then being able to see that they're right next to each other is really cool. A is the 5 chord. And so 5, every time you go clockwise on a toolbox, on a circle of fifths, every time you go clockwise, the next note is a fifth. So the 5th of D is A, the 5th of A is E, the 5th of E is B, and it runs like that the whole way. So the 5th of D is A, the 5th of A is E, the 5th of E is B, and I know those are fifths because they're in the 5 columns. And it runs like that the whole way. And then going backwards, they're fourths. So the 4th of D is a G. If you go D up to G, that's a 4th. A 4th of A is a D, the 4th of E is an A, and that'll be important later on. But just being able to see what are each of these notes, and they're called scale degrees. In the key of D, your first degree, your root is the D, your second degree is an E, third degree is an F sharp, 4th degree is a G, and that corresponds with these notes up here. So you want to be able to see which chords go together in each key. Remember that the 3 major chords in each key are right next to each other on either side of the root. And then the 3 minor key chords in each key are also right next to each other. And that'll be important later on too. So just knowing what are my chords that make up the key, what are the chords that are commonly played as majors in each key, and which ones are commonly played as minors in each key is huge. And then once you and then with the toolbox, what you can do is in these some major chord progressions, you can see what are different ways that I can arrange these chords into different kinds of songs. So in the key of D, I could play a 1-5-1, which is a 1-5-1, and that would be like this on a guitar. D, A, D. I could play a 1-4-5, that's D, G, A, D, G, A, 1-4-5. Sounds like this. Super common progression. I could play 1-5-4, D, A, G. Another common progression sounds like this. We can play a 1-6-4-5, D, B minor, G, A, D, B minor, G, A. And when you start thinking about the Roman numerals for chords, then real cool things start happening because any song, if you know the Roman numerals for it, you can play it in any key. Like if I wanted to play that last one in G, remember just click on the toolbox logo to go back to the main Circle of Fifths page. If I want to play in the key of G now, and I want to play that exact same 1-6-4-5 progression that I just played in D, now I'm going to play G, E minor, C, D. So I'm going to play 1-6-4-5. And now in the key of G, that same chord progression sounds like this. E minor, C major, D major, G. So there's all kinds of things you can do with the Circle of Fifths. I'm going to show some more advanced ideas in some later videos. But just to recap what we learned, on this first page you can see all the major keys and see the order of them in a Circle of Fifths and see which ones, how many sharps and flats are in each key. So if you see some sheet music that has 3 sharps in it, you know you're playing in the key of A, and then you can see which one of those notes are sharp. So here's those 3 sharp notes, and then see which ones are played as naturals and see the major scale. You can also see the whole steps and half steps. And remember, if you want to see that on a toolbox, you just go to the table of contents and Chord Toolbox Explained. And then this explains all about whole steps and half steps and how to build major scales. So you can see how to build major scales on here. You can see major versus pentatonic scales. And if I want to see those in the key of G, my major scale notes are all going to be in white boxes, and the underlined notes are going to be the pentatonic notes. So G, A, B, D, E are the pentatonic notes. G, A, B, D, E. And I can see those are all next to each other on the circle of fifths. And with the toolbox, I can see where those are laid out all over the instrument on a whole bunch of different kinds of instruments. Mandolins and ukuleles, piano, bass, tenor guitar, banjo, all kinds of things. And I can see which chords are found in each key. And that's probably one of the most important things. When friends are playing a song and it's in the key of G, I already know right off the bat what my most likely chords are going to be. And that makes a big difference in figuring out songs on the fly. And remember that the 1, 4, 5 chords are the critical ones to know in every key. The 1, 4, 5 makes up the backbone of Western music. And those are right next to each other on the circle of fifths, which is a beautiful thing here. And then your 3 minor chords are all next to each other. And remember, those are the most common minor chords that are going to be in the key. And then the diminished, maybe we'll talk about it in a later video, maybe not, we just don't play it a lot. And if you want to practice some chord progressions, you can do that at this section. So if you want to see, if you want to check out a toolbox for yourself and see if you might find it interesting, just pick your instrument on here, and then you can go look at the Essential Edition, which shows colored circles and uses the 5 main major keys. And the 5 main major keys that are in that Essential Edition are the key of C major, G major, D major, A major, and E major. These are the most common keys that you play in jam sessions. So with the Essential Edition, you can see those 5 keys all highlighted, and just click Look Inside and download the free instructions and G major keys on those. Or if you want to see the G major key and the instructions from the book I was using today, just click Look Inside on this interactive book, and you can click around and get started. And if you found that useful and you think it might be cool to study further, and you want to show how cool you thought it was, if you go to the store link here on the Toolbox website, I've got t-shirts you can order, and click on any of those and you can blow them up. The one I was wearing today is this one here, and so you can you can order them from the website there and help support Fretboard Toolbox and some of these free tools I make and some of the paid ones. So anyways, I appreciate you stopping by today. I appreciate you taking a look, and I hope you found something useful. And I'll have lots more videos coming on lots more instruments. And we'll do a couple more on the circle of fifths and go a little deeper into it and see if you can find some other cool things in there. So thanks for taking a look.